The Woodcutter's Gift by Lupe Ruiz Flores. On a stormy night, a violent thunderstorm blew in and knocked down the giant mesquite tree that stood in the town square. After the storm, all the neighbors, who rarely spoke to each other, came out of their houses and gathered around the enormous tree that was blocking the main street. "That tree is dead. Let's get rid of it," remarked the storekeeper as he poked at it with a stick. He looked up to see what the others thought. The crowd muttered in agreement. "Yeah," said the house painter, "I'll bring my saw and cut it into little pieces." "No, wait," the gardener said. "Let's ask the woodcutter Tomas what he thinks we should do." "Tomas," said the gardener, "what should we do with this tree? This rough and ugly mesquite is only good for one thing, firewood," said the grumpy painter. "No, no," the woodcutter said, moving closer to the tree. "Don't destroy this good tree." "What are you going to do with it?" the crowd asked. The woodcutter paused, deep in thought. "This tree could belong to everyone. How can one tree belong to everyone? Not possible." The woodcutter just grinned and replied, "It's a surprise. You'll see." The next day, the neighbors watched from a distance as the woodcutter split the tree into huge blocks. Then the men helped him haul the large pieces to his home. Day after day, the townspeople watched as wood chips flew into the air like sparks from a fire, as the woodcutter carved and chipped and whittled the wood. "My dad says that ugly mesquite is only good for barbecues," one boy said as he watched from the other side of the fence. "Ah, but he's wrong," the woodcutter replied. "The beauty of this tree is not on the outside, but on the inside." Every day, the curious neighbors went to watch the woodcutter work. They talked and laughed and wondered what he was doing. "What are you making?" they kept asking him. "Be patient," he would say, and continue with his work. One day, the woodcutter moved the chunks of wood inside his woodshed. Children peeked through the knotholes in the wall, but they couldn't see anything. The woodcutter worked every day until the sun went down, and every night he locked the shed. Finally, the woodcutter rang the big rusty bell hanging on his porch. He had never done that before. Clang, clang, clang. Everyone rushed over and gathered outside the woodcutter's house. "What's happening? Why is the bell ringing?" they asked. "Follow me," the woodcutter said, and he led them to the woodshed. "Now close your eyes and don't open them until I tell you." The big woodshed door swung open. Creak. "Open your eyes now," the woodcutter said with joy. The townspeople opened their eyes and gasped. "You see, I made a zoo for the children to enjoy," the woodcutter said proudly. Life-sized wooden animals stood before them inside the shed. "Wow, yay, hooray," the children shouted as they jumped up and down with excitement.